OK, let's get some order in the house then, because I'm going to kick off the papers because there's been a story that broke last night and there's some very heavy stuff going on out in Mumbai, which is formerly Bombay in India. As you probably heard, a group of terrorists, they call themselves Deccan Mujahideen, which is an unknown terrorist group. A lot of people think they might be Indian Mujahideen or an offshoot of Al-Qaeda. But this group of terrorists, aged, they reckon, in their teens, has gone in and stormed Mumbai, 7 or so different locations. The railway station there, you can see that's blood on the floor in the middle of that photo. We've got something like 101 deaths so far. 6 of them are believed to be foreigners, i.e. could be British or American. That seemed to be the targets the terrorists were after, British or American people. That's the main hotel there, the Taj Mahal Palace. I've actually stayed at that lovely place. As the terrorists went in there, they were asking people to put their hands up if you're British or American, and then they took these hostages. Well, all through the night into this morning, because Mumbai's about 5 hours ahead, there's been shootouts going on. The one in that hotel, the Taj Palace, is now over. There is currently, I think there's something like 20 people still trapped in the hotel. There's another hotel also that's come under fire, the Oberoi, and that, I believe, is still in the middle of an attack. So all kinds of stuff going on in Mumbai. The Foreign Office did put out a number, but we've been trying it and it's not working. So until we get a number that does work, that's all we can tell you about that case. If anything else happens, we will let you know. But trouble in India. Not much to laugh about there, Frank, and I don't know what you've got, really.
No, it's a grim. But, yeah, and Woolworths has gone under, basically. Which is
worthless.
Yes, Woolworths. It's all there, the blunder of Woolies, from those old adverts used to be the wonder of Woolies. And it's sad, I think. It used to be a big treat for me when I was a kid to go to Woolworths, you know, pick and mix.
It's got overtaken, though, wasn't it, by... There's nothing that Woolworths sells that you can't get anywhere else. I think that's where it went...
That is true, but if you look at that advert now, look, you can get a Polaroid camera for $21.99.
Yeah.
Now, that really was the gift that kept on giving.
Yeah. Polaroid cameras, $21.99.
I've still got Polaroids from those days that I still refer to on occasion. I'm sad about it. Although someone pointed out to me earlier, when did you last go in there? And I said, oh, about 25 years ago. So I haven't helped. No. I think it's the sort of thing... And I thought it was the most English shop in the world. Turns out it's American.
Yeah. That's why my dad used to work there. That was
well, that was probably the beginning of the end.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. Did he steal a lot of stuff?
Yeah.
Oh, well, there you go.
Do you remember they had Winfield, their own
Yeah,
brand
Winfield.
Stuff?
There used to be the Winfield A1 plastic football, which used to really hurt the inner thigh on a winter's day. Used to bring all the veins out like an A to Z.
I think on a really heavy note, of course, it's something like 30,000 job losses.
Yeah, that's the horrible.
30,000 jobs at risk. So, yeah, that's Woolworths.
Get there this weekend, though, because there'll be even more stuff on discount.
Oh, is it still open then?
Well, it should be. It should be for a couple more days.
Still trading.
Yeah.
Get down there, seriously, for some real bargains.
They'll turn the whole thing into a pick and mix. You'll be able to have... I'll have a leather jacket from that one, put it in a big bag. Yeah, you'll have a shovel with watches. Be fantastic. My next story is about... It's called the Army Lesbian story, and it's about this, I have to say, very beautiful... lesbians never used to look like that in my days.
They do in the movies.
Yeah, exactly. It used to be the tweed suit and a small pipe.
Don't knock the tweed suit, Frank. I'm wearing one today.
Oh, sorry.
Yes, very
nice but anyway, this woman who's a lesbian squaddy, Kerry Fletcher, was getting sexually harassed, and this other soldier kept suggesting a threesome, right? I presume he was going to include Miss Fletcher's German girlfriend, who's a pilot, 6 foot tall, who also looks great. I thought there's something brilliant about this story, that just a British soldier nowadays can be in love with a German pilot. That's progress, isn't it?
The downside is you've got people, men and women, laying down their lives in Iraq and Afghanistan, people coming back with limbs missing, getting 10, 15, 20 grand compensation. Well,
the Mirror...
And here we have 200 grand for a woman whose feelings were hurt.
Yeah, but I think I worry about those stories being put together. The Mirror has compared it with a guy who lost an arm and a leg in Afghanistan and got 160,000. But I think it's a bit false to put those stories together. I think we probably all agree that sexual harassment is completely out of order. And I don't think you should say, oh, yeah, but it's not as bad as being injured. I think it's bad and needs to be stopped. And, if, you know, she's a soldier, for goodness sake.
Is it as bad as losing an arm, losing a leg?
You don't compare stuff like that. Who compares that? No one's questioning it.
They have to make a judgment about the amount of money paid out. And it just strikes me as peculiar that hurt feelings are worth more than missing limbs.
But is that what's being said? No
that's what
one's
the money
questioning
states.
that-
Well, that's what the money says, isn't it? If you get more for hurt feelings than you do for missing limbs.
Well, does it come from the same fund? I don't know.
Don't know if it comes from the same fund.
Well,
no.
if it doesn't come from the
Anyway.
same fund, what are you
It's not-
going on
it's-
about,
well,
Matthew
It's
Wright?
not just
It
hurt
must be coming from the
feelings.
same funds. The MOD is responsible for
Yeah.
paying it out. They're the
But
ones.
no one's questioning is it, that it's a terrible thing that people lose limbs and fight, and they're heroic. No one is questioning that, obviously. And I wish they'd got 3 times more money,
Yeah.
those guys. But I don't. Sexual harassment's a pretty horrible thing, which I thought we'd stamped out.
Yeah, OK.
No, you're trying to encourage it, Matthew. I can't believe it. Get out.
I dream of being harassed sexually, but one day.
Well, it's early yet. Once that bacon chocolate kicks in, anything could happen.
Desperately try not to think about it. What else have you got?
I'm
there,
already
Frank?
a bit lightheaded. Oh, I've got a cold at the moment, and you've got a cold
Yeah.
as well, I know. And this is about... see, it started. This is actual evidence.
Here
The
we
Daily
go.
Mail, Lemsip have done a survey, right? I like the
Actually got that
idea.
in my drink now.
Have you? I like the idea
Don't
that...
get him on the subject of his health, honestly.
Well, this
Sorry.
is what it says. It says 52% of women say they lose sympathy for their under-the-weather partner within 5 minutes of his start.
Mel, see?
5 seconds, more like.
But it says men, 70% of men claim to be sympathetic to a partner with a cold.
Yeah.
Now, my girlfriend is the most hypochondriac person I've ever met, right? She once got a headache, which she said she got because she was wearing a stripy dress. So there is no room in our relationship for me to be ill at all. I don't even mention it. No matter how bad I feel, I just look after myself. I get no sympathy.
But so much of it is psychological, though. Just forget that you're actually feeling ill. Just get on with your day. He can't do that.
Well, look, here we are. We're doing
Okay.
a TV show, for God's sake. We've battled on.
Frank, got to interrupt. We're running short of time on this part. So, you two, Mel and Simon, let's rattle through them as quickly as
Yeah,
we can.
very,
We've
very
got
quickly. The Mail's cover story today is this terrible rape case. The guy that's been accused
The
of...
incest one.
Yes, the incest, making his daughters pregnant 19 times. Apparently there were 150 chances to spot that this was going on, but, we've had a lot of bashing of the social services all week, so
Yeah.
maybe we won't go into that in too much detail. There's another story also in the Mail about teenage... the headline says teenage muggers. It's actually not about teenage muggers. It's basically saying that low-level crimes committed by 10 to 17-year-olds, for the first time, they'll be let off with no sort of, no record of it if they say sorry. So if you say sorry, you're 10 to 17, then you'll be let off, which I think is rather nice. But you've got to say it properly, though. You can't just go,
You've got
sorry.
to look like you mean it.
They've got to actually mean it. That got a good reaction, obviously. Total silence. And the comedy story. The Sun today has got this amazing picture of a 6-month-old baby dressed in pink with high heels on. There, you can get them. You can get them from this US firm called Hilarious, and mums are buying them for their little babies. They're completely sort of soft. They won't harm the baby's foot or anything.
Can they walk at that age?
They can't walk, no.
Slightly pointless then, really.
Unless they're really genius. But they will make your child look like Vanessa Feltz if you buy them a pair. So there you go. The Feltz shoe.
Simon, what have you got down the end, Sam?
Well, I've got the story about this comedy that's called Special People that has been released with a 12A certificate by the British Board of Film Classification. The story is fundamentally about disabled people, and it has disabled actors playing in it, but it's been issued with a warning to viewers that they're going to view something that contains disabled people.
You're joking.
Which is kind of outrageous for the classification, because obviously we don't put in, be careful, this contains black people or women or anything else. And it's just, it's outrageous, and unfortunately they have now withdrawn the certificate and changed it, but of course in the meantime all the advertising has been done. It's a very small, low-budget film, and it will be damaged by that. Whether in fact this publicity will help it, I don't know, but one hopes it does, because apparently it's very good and very worthwhile everybody seeing.
God, get over it.
That story is in the Daily Mail, but it's also obviously in all the other papers as well. There's the Telegraph. Most pupils have never visited an art gallery. There's a statistic that is saying that more than half of children have never been to see an art gallery, and more often than not they haven't been to see anything particularly cultural, and that they actually have no real desire to.
Kind of what we were talking about yesterday, back down to sort of set
Which
the
is
bars
what we were
high or
talking about
low,
indeed
yeah.
yesterday. But there actually is a manifesto out there that has been drawn up that is actually suggesting that this is a good thing for everybody to do, is to get the kids out, get them out of school, take them in and do these things and expose them. And I think clearly they should be exposed to as much as possible and let them make the choice as to whether they want to go or not later. And the last one is the secret of why dogs need a wet nose.
I have often wondered.
Especially for Frank here. Well, apparently it's a very essential part of their smelling mechanism. And the mucus on the nose apparently deciphers all sorts, cleans up the air as it goes in, and it deciphers all the smells, and it's absolutely important. So therefore, your dog must have a wet nose to be as efficient as it possibly can be.
Wow. Do horses have wet noses? Horses have quite wet noses.
They do.
Yeah,
Actually, I think it's true to say that most animals do.
Yeah. Hamsters don't know.
Giant teeth.
Giant teeth, big teeth.
I've been drying my dog's nose for years now. Not really. I'll get arm lock and a hairdryer.
And unfortunately, he can't tell you or your girlfriend apart because he can't smell.
Well, yeah, my dog's got no nose.
Yeah. After the ads.